Welcome back once again, my friends. This is video number 3 for CCNP switching 2.0 or 315. So the objective of this video: managing MAC address table, configuring and verifying MAC address table setting, troubleshooting MAC addresses table setting. So why we are going to discuss on this video or these topics? Let's go ahead and verify in CCNP 2.0, means I'm talking about switching. CISCO has mentioned about managing MAC address table. So in layer 2 devices like switch or a bridge, they deal with MAC addresses, they work on MAC addresses basically. How you can manipulate or utilize or do some setting to learn the MAC addresses to your switches. So there is a whole bunch of line. I would highly recommend to download this PDF file and then after go through line by line. But since this is the video, I'm going to create a short video, so I'm not going line by line to make you bored. Okay. So the devices learn, means talking about switch and bridge, MAC addresses dynamically either statically. Statically, administrator need to manually define to particular VLAN or a port. These are corresponding MAC address that you need to forward the data. But by default, the MAC addresses learn dynamically. While any frame come to the switch automatically sends that source address and keep or maintain in MAC table or a bridge table, sometime also known as. So that is good. You can just disable to learn MAC address to particular VLAN, particular interface, or you can also change the default behavior of MAC addresses aging time. After what time it going to flush or remove from the MAC table. So let's see. We will go through the line little bit, not all over, and we'll get the conclusion what we need to understand about the managing MAC address table. Okay. So first one, these are the line. Use caution before disabling MAC address learning on interface or a VLAN with configure switch virtual interface. The switch then flood all IP packet in layer 2 domain. Flood all IP packet in layer 2 domain. What is mean by this word or this line? If you talking about particular a hub, suppose this is a hub. How does your hub work? How does your hub perform task in network? Suppose these are the devices connected directly to the hub. These are the computer. Let's see, computer A, computer B, C and D. Computer A intentionally only want to talk to the computer B, but your hub, not an intelligent device, it forward packet out of every port except to that receive. Yes. Similarly, your switch going to work if you going to disable learn MAC address. So this is going to utilize unnecessary resources in your LAN. It will terminate after a router or maybe a switch that working fine, that working on unicast. Okay, so good. So this was the first line. You can disable MAC address learning on single VLAN or a particular interface. So, or you can use the hyphen to select multiple VLAN. So we recommend that you disable MAC address learning only in VLAN if 2 ports. If you disable MAC address learning online with more than 2 ports, every packet entering the switch is float on in the VLAN. But for some reason, let's see. Take me my pen. Suppose this is VLAN 2 and there is only 2 port assigned to VLAN 2. only 2 port means broadcast domain, that is participating only 2 ports. So on that case, if you disabled MAC address learning on VLAN 2, not a matter, not a big deal. They are going to talk to each other without disturbing other. Yes, until and unless if you have a trunk port. So if you have a trunk port going to some other switch, then after they may forward packet to other switch. Okay, so this is the CISCO recommendation. How you can see these setting we'll discuss later, but we have a couple of lines. Let me go through it. You cannot disable MAC address learning on VLAN that is used internally by router if the VLAN ID that you send an internal VLAN, the switch generate an error message and reject the command to view internal VLAN in use, either the show VLAN internal use on previous exec. I discuss either. No, you need to execute this command. Okay, that's good. So this is the command that you can execute to your switches, in fact your router as well, to manipulate, to configure your MAC table learning setting. So on globally, if you run command no MAC address table learning, yes, you can go ahead and define particular VLAN ID, or couples of VLAN, or you can select particular interface as well using the slot or port number. Then after, you can verify show MAC address table learning on which VLAN or interface you have disabled learning, and you need to save. This is optional. If you want to keep that setting for future use, you can just go ahead and execute the command copy running config to startup config. So this is the command no MAC address table learning on VLAN 200 or particular interface no MAC address table learning gigabit F0/0. Yes, you can obviously verify using this command show MAC address table learning VLAN other particular interface, and then after you will see the result. We have some couple of command to verify or managing your couples of command, I should say, bad English, but no matter. So MAC address table addresses to see the learn MAC addresses. So MAC address table aging time. I would like to discuss little bit about the aging time. A switch maintain a MAC table, sometime known as a bridge table or layer 2 addresses table. So suppose, let me go through the example. Computer A, computer B, computer C, or maybe some other switch connected to this, and computer XX. Corresponding this port, suppose if your switch keep a MAC address A, for example, for instance, B, C, D, E. These are the MAC addresses that your switch has learned already in maintaining these MAC addresses. What happened after an hour, after couples of hours? No one traffic originated from these MAC addresses, the source of MAC addresses like A, B, C and D. Your switch will go ahead and flush these MAC addresses after 300 seconds. This is the by default. So this is known as aging time. You can tune, you can increase or you can decrease the aging time if you require. Yep, you can do this. Will better for you, for me as well. I should go ahead step by step practical that makes sense a lot and better to understand you. Good, this is a good idea. So let me pause the recording and turn on my devices, since I am working on the lab where I have a physical equipment. So I expect you will listen the background sound of the devices, but no matter. Alright, I have turned on my devices, my terminal server as well as a switch. So first I would like to connect this switch to my production network. So I would like to assign IP address to interface VLAN 1, get IP addresses from DSCP, and please no shutdown. So switch going to get IP addresses from the DSCP that is already running in my production network. Now we can see it get IP address from the DSCP. That IP address is 192.168.1.235. Actually the IP get from the DSL router, small office home office router. Let's verify we are able to ping a Google public DNS server. Yep, we can 8.8.8.8. So verify. First I would like to verify how many MAC addresses my switch learned so far. So so far I mean to say that while I turn on that switch. So MAC and then after address table, and you can just use the question marks and will find all those commands: address, aging time, count, dynamic, interface, learning, move, multicast, notification, and so on and so forth. But keep it simple. So MAC address table are dynamic. I would like, since I do not have assigned any static addresses, so all those dynamic addresses should be learned. So far, let me scroll up little bit. So we will get the space to work out. So MAC address, this MAC address belong to VLAN 1. How it learn? You switch how come to know about this MAC addresses dynamically. On which port? Port number F0/1. Since only the F01 is running in this switch, let me verify. So IP interface brief, and you can see right there F0/1 is running, and rest of are actually no one port is connected to the network. So good. So it was so MAC address table. In this way you can specify to see the particular MAC address. What I mean to say that you can just configure manual MAC address. Let me see, let me show you. MAC address table static, and then you can just configure. Suppose the MAC address table is how I can configure the MAC address table? I think I can 444.444.444. Excuse me. I think 3 times. Yep. And then after what? Which VLAN you like to add? Yes, VLAN 1, and you can belong to the interface as well. So this is fast Ethernet/1. Yep. I think I have configured. So if there is thousands of MAC addresses in your switch, and specifically you looking for particular MAC address, suppose you're looking for only this MAC address. Let's see. Go ahead and copy and execute the command. So MAC address, and then after address, and then particular MAC address. You will find yes, this MAC address is exist, and you have learned dynamically, and this is belong to port number F0/1. Either if you want to look which I was configured, I configured 444. It was 4 digit, I think. Yeah, it was 4. So 444, 444, and 444. VLAN 1, 44444, statically, not dynamically, make sure, and belong to port number F0/1. So this is actually the fake entry. You can means put right MAC addresses means that you have inside your network, but I'm not going to do that way. So another thing, if you like to see so MAC address table aging time, first I should configure, so MAC address table and then learning in particular VLAN. Suppose I say no MAC address table learning on VLAN 1. I'm going to work like a crazy. Your switch now going to work like a hub, because since you executed command no MAC address table learning on VLAN 1. And what command you can execute? Let's see. And then no MAC, I hope this is not support for particular interface. Yep, this is not support to particular interface, since this is do so version. This is 2960 switch. If this is the layer switch or higher level of switches, higher version of number of version switches, it will support to particular interface as well. So good. Now we need to verify couples of things. So we have no MAC address table learning VLAN 200, either no MAC address table learning to particular interface. Good. So MAC address table we have executed. So MAC address table aging time. Let's see how we can tune the MAC address table aging time. So MAC address and then aging time. You can define using 10 to thousands of seconds, I think 1 lakh of second. But by default, let's see what is the default time. So MAC address and then table aging time. What is current aging time? Let's see. Current aging time is 300 seconds. Okay, so go ahead and execute command MAC address table and then aging time. If you want to change, hey man, you keep a long time your MAC addresses. Could you please reduce those seconds? Yes, why not? I can. So do, and let me use this command. Now we change that. Similarly, we have couples of options. Let's see. MAC address, then table, and then after learning, move, notification, static, and all those things. Yep. So we have verified all those things, but something is left. Let's see. So MAC address table count. So we run execute the command so MAC address table and then count. How many MAC table left? So we have total MAC address space we have available 7405, and we have one static MAC addresses and total 1 MAC addresses. Since dynamically MAC address learning I have disabled to execute the command. Yes, so that's why we can see right there only single MAC address. So how we can verify on which VLAN we have disabled dynamically learn MAC addresses? We can execute this command. So MAC address table, not MAC address table count, not count, this should be learning. Yep. Yes. So MAC address table learning. So we can see on VLAN 1 no dynamically MAC address learning. On VLAN 3, I think I have VLAN 3 as well, it has enabled, it can learn the dynamically MAC addresses. So actually it depends which switch using and which SDM preference SDM preference you using are. What I mean by SDM I have already clear, I think so. So SDM preference. So I'm learning I'm running dual So it allot for IPv4 and IPv6 MAC table addresses to the to the memory sorry to the memory. Even I cannot speak. Okay, no matter. So MAC address table dynamically, let me enable configure terminal MAC address table learning for VLAN 1 enable, or we can do default, I think so. So let's verify. Do so not do so MAC address learning. So we have enabled on VLAN 1 as well as that is by default on VLAN 3. So we supposed to see, if we go through the count, yeah, dynamically I learned 25 MAC addresses, and one is static, means total we have, or our switch have 26 MAC address. So dynamically or a particular interface, in learning we have already static, and so VLAN to the particular, if you like to see to particular VLAN how many MAC addresses learn so far, you can also use this keyword, so MAC address table and then after VLAN. So MAC address table and then after VLAN and number, the VLAN number. So some of MAC addresses actually reserved for your CPU and then after you can see this is the broadcast MAC address and for VLAN all. And then after VLAN 1, since we are looking on VLAN 1, we supposed to also get 444, that is statically we configured. Yep, so that is 57 MAC addresses so far. I hope you got all those things what I delivered, and this may be informative for you, and thanks for watching.